versus the red decks. Big fan of the deck in general. I think it's good versus Esper. I think it's like pretty bad versus blue-white decks that run Rivulet. Really good versus blue-white decks that don't run Rivulet. I imagine we're going to struggle with these blue-black mid-range decks, but we haven't been getting paired versus them much lately. We've basically just been getting paired versus a sea of red decks, and then like, you know, a Stompy here, Snakes there, blah 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 blah. And those are the exact decks I want to play versus when we play this. Now, if we lower, as soon as we go into these matches, we're going to get paired versus a bunch of Drowned Catacombs and a bunch of Glacial Fortresses. We ain't going to be happy. It's a pretty slow hand, but I think it's at least a keep, especially versus a mulligan. It's the type of hand that actually can lose to the red decks, so we're going to have to hope he's not on a red deck. Nope, he's on a blue deck. That's probably even worse for us, considering I just mentioned that the blue decks are decks that were, in general, not very good versus. Especially if he's just like blue-white control. He's just like blue-white control with Rivulets. Like our win percentage is just close to 0. Like it is one of the least varianced matches that I think I've ever played. It is just incredibly lopsided. It's looking like that's what he is too. Yep. Don't you guys love how, like, the last 3 days I've started a league telling you we're good versus X and X and not X, but we've not been getting paired versus, you know, sorry, that we're good versus this and that, but not versus X, but we've not been getting paired versus X, which is why we've chose said deck, and we immediately get paired versus said deck every time. It's kind of a weird time for him to play that spell because if he protects it, then he can't stop us from playing a Teferi if we happen to have it. The only cards in this match that I would actually use a counterspell on are like Teferis and Search for Ascanthus. If we had a Field of Ruin in our hand, we wouldn't even worry about the search, even though he was just like has to never flip it. Hey, Nick. I don't know how hop it is. We're in for like a 30-minute loss. This is the type of match that, like, if I wasn't streaming, I'd probably just go ahead and concede because it's that bad. Well, I'd wait till I saw a Rivulet. It's like that bad of a match for you. I just literally probably wouldn't even bother because the only way you win is if your opponent makes mistakes, and I value my time more than like hoping they'll make a mistake. Our match doesn't improve post board. There's no reason to do that. Our match gets worse post board. Because main deck, at least they have a bunch of settles and fumigates and stuff that like do absolutely nothing, and then post board they have no dead cards, while we'll still have relatively dead cards. And there's the Rivulet. So as I was saying, that's pretty much means the game's over when they have that card. But some builds like Michael or Mike Sigris didn't run those, so you always just kind of have to hope. I would damn near disallow this. But yeah, like post board, we get a couple negates, and that's about it. While they can get histories and stuff. I mean, we get some Bloodfasts and one duress, but we don't really get much. I'm not sure whether I want to cycle this thing or not. I guess I'll cycle it. I just don't want to miss the land drop. We now have 4 cards in our hand that we'll probably sideboard out. I'll probably cast a Gearhulk at the end of their turn. I guess I won't. I don't have anything to even target. We are a 4 Glimmer deck. Basically just pressing F6 a bunch right now. Get rid of one of these Essence Scatters. I'll probably cast Glimmer at the end of their turn. Specifically because I want to start casting Gearhulks. It will force me to discard a card on my turn and puts me closer to being milled, but I don't want both of those. If we get our land for our turn, we don't have to discard 2, which is nice. I don't think this card's not that great because now they have a thing to use their cast outs on, or their like Field of Runes or whatever, but it's better than like a random card. Don't really care if they counterspell this. Don't know why, but to me that was even odd. Give them something to spend another Essence Scatter on. And these Gearhulks are like basically throwaway cards. Oh, I got a real counterspell. That feels good. Maybe their hand's bad enough that we'll get there. Did I say get there? I think it's good versus the red decks and good versus the green decks. Terrible versus the other blue-black decks and the blue-white decks. So it's 100% metagame dependent. Like it beats half the field one way or the other. Like we're pretty much already millstoned out this game, but that's okay. Will not protect this even if he tries to. If he counters it, he can just counter it. Like I value my counter spells pretty highly. I don't have to worry about a random removal spell right now. Or sorry, random kill condition right now. Gonna worry about that later. When he doesn't have enough cards to hopefully protect his 4. Or 3 or how many ever he's running. Yeah, it is pretty vulnerable to like a Carnage Tyrant or whatever. Because like winning a counterspell war in a spot like this, like if it resolves, he's just going to resolve his Teferi and tuck my Teferi. Like it's not going to win the game. Like if he's 32 cards deep or whatever into his deck, he will just be able to resolve whatever he wants. How much? 5. Okay, that's right. Basically, I'm trying to play a game of last counterspell wins. And it's not going to work, which is why this match is unwinnable. Like you can make a spot to where like you never die to approach or you never die to Teferi, but you can't beat this card. You just can't beat this card in this match. Well, Chris, as I said earlier, if I was playing off stream, I would have already conceded, but I'm just playing it out because of the stream. I agree with you. I don't think playing this match is worth it unless they have like a really horrible draw. And if they have a horrible draw, I'll be able to leverage a win later. Like if all their threats are on the all the rest of their counter spells are like on the bottom couple cards of their deck or whatever, like we'll be able to win anyway. So this is Gearhulk number 3. So we have 1 Disallow and 1 Syncopate left in our deck. We still have 2 Teferis in our deck. I'm going ahead and putting the search on the bottom at this point. That's fine. So we got a second cast out of him. So that's 3 cast outs. I pretty much don't want to cast a Teferi until I have 3 castable counterspells in my hand. Or I don't care about resolving a Teferi until then. I should have discarded an Essence Scatter. That was just not paying attention to my hand. So like I'm trying to draw the 3rd Disallow before I play a Teferi. Or before I resolve a Teferi. I believe that to be accurate in Cephalartos, but like it's even for everybody. Like I think the shuffling algorithm hits patterns, but like it's going to hit patterns for your opponents and stuff too. So it's not like you're at a big disadvantage if it hits a pattern. Also, since there's 3 games, the clock does matter in these matches, so like... How many cards have we put on the bottom now? 6? So we're getting close to our other 2 Teferis? We're also getting really close to being milled at this point. We barely have enough time to win. If he's got a 3rd Rivulet, we just don't have enough time to win. That's how every deck is right now, Murph. I think blue-black mid-range is pretty close to the best deck by a lot, though. Alright, that's game. We don't physically have enough cards left to win. There's no commit in our deck. So we like physically cannot win now. We've not been able to win since turn 1 in my opinion, though we could have made slightly better decisions maybe to like give ourselves a chance. I just don't think any of them actually affect the outcome of the game. I think blue-black mid's the best deck by a mile anyway. Because we have 7 cards left in our library. And it takes us a minimum of 9 cards to ultimate this. Is that 4? Sure. I mean, that's the go, but he's also that deep into his deck. I'm just going to assume he's got his other counter spells by now as well. Apparently I've already played a land this turn. Yeah, I played the Isolated Chapel I drew. Derp. Not very bright. How many times do I have to click on you, Mr. Glacial Fortress? I mean, all of his counterspells could be the bottom X of his deck, then sure. I did waste a disallow earlier. I definitely should have just contempted. I guess I have to try to protect that because I'm just dead if I don't. I don't like how I played this game at all. I think I played this game very bad. Well, he's got Gearhulks in his main deck. I think Gearhulks in your main deck are woefully embarrassingly bad. Well, I have no disallows left now, Smurf, so now I officially cannot win. I guess if I hadn't played my land for the turn, I could have... If I'd had a Rivulet, or sorry, a Runes in play or something. Of course, he probably doesn't tap out if we had the Rune in play. And I assume he has more than 2 Rivulets. And the Teferi's going to die anyway. It's not like this Teferi's going to survive. It's going to get tucked or something. At this point, we're basically just letting him use his clock. In case it goes to a lone game 2 and 3. Apparently I'm untapping his island too because I wasn't paying attention. When did we shuffle our deck? It apparently shuffled our deck at some point and I wasn't paying attention to it. That wasn't the card that I thought was on the bottom of my deck. He still has a disallow. So even if this resolves a few turns, it doesn't resolve forever. And he's got an approach. Well, that doesn't counterspell this. Sure. I don't know why I'm not conceding. Hey, Jugo, what's up? He has like a million ways to beat me. Just want to see more of his deck. He's already showed us one Gear Hulk in the main. One Gear Hulk in the main almost makes me want to leave my Essence Scatters in, but I still think Essence Scatters like really kind of bad in the match. $10 for a Teferi and a Jorah? You got a pretty good deal. At this point, I feel like he's just letting me catch up on clock. So negate, and we're dead. We'll just press F6 then. Hey George, thanks for the host. Oh, he paid. Okay, he bought 3 packs. Fair enough. And we're dead. Pretty easy sideboarding. Like, there's nothing really that too tricky about it. Is this how Brad sideboards? Four demons. You should have sold your 4 demons already. I think I got 13 something out of my first demons. Alright, whatever. I'm not going to mulligan again. I'm going to keep this. And hope we hit a land between our scry and our draw steps. If that's not a land. This is a match you can technically go to 5 in, but the opening 2 cards we have are so good that it just seemed worth it to do this. If I had a 3rd land, I might have played the Knight of Malice there. Actually, I'm going to play the Knight of Malice now. I'll try to cast this one. I don't really care if he counterspells it. It's the main reason I'm going to try to cast it. This mulligan worked out pretty well. Yeah, it's amazing how good Knight of Malice and Knight of Grace are, but I think most of the blue decks have Walking Ballista these days, so... Our Teferi's gonna pump our Knight, which is nice. Sure. Don't mind getting a counterspell out of his hand. I don't think he can cast anything I care about. I don't even care about if he like cast out our thing. Gearhulk. Just really want to see his hand. Oh, it's a bunch of stuff I don't care about. Guess the cast out's the only one that really does anything, so... So you got 2 disallows, a Essence Scatter, and an Unknown. And a 2-turn clock. We'll attempt to counterspell that. It doesn't really even match up with what we're doing. I'm not too concerned about anything he can play, though, so... Guess he could have Blink. I don't think you leave Blink in post-board in these games. What is this? 6-7 mana for an approach. Well, we currently don't have a counterspell, so... guess we can just look for one. If we hit one, we win. So I was going to draw a card down, I was going to cast Glimmer, but technically I should have done that in a different order. Should have Glimmered first. Bad hands unite. I don't think he changes anything from the play to the draw. Alright. Let's run it back. This hand's not particularly good, but they're on a mulligan, so we'll keep it. Generally, how you win with Esper in post-board games is by leveraging your early pressure. Whether it be a knight or a bloodfast or like something, it's typically really hard for them to deal with all of it. Not worried about trying to protect it. I'm seeing if we can just get it underneath in the gate before he has disallow mana. Syncopate, short. I should have can potentially play an isolated chapel there in case he's got a plains and like plays a history on the next turn. That could have been a bad play. Seem really far ahead though because he mulliganed and is missing land drops. Don't care a whole lot if he protects it. It feels to me like a win if he protects it because we're just going to slam Teferi and tuck it if it does. I don't think there's any reason to push the Teferi there either when we have another play we can play at the end of his turn. And another one we can play on the following end of his turn. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with just running the Gear Hulk out at the end of his turn as well. I don't want to go ahead and like try to force Teferi through with a duress because it's like so easy for him to just have a land and another Teferi. I don't actually value the Gear Hulk very high either, so like getting a counterspell if he has one is a win. Left Essence Scatters in. Rip. Of course we knew that from game 2. Well, I guess we don't have anything else to do with it, so... I assume this is about to get tucked. But if it does, then we get to resolve errors. Oh. Well, we don't care about a history. Let's start and see if this resolves. I don't want to waste a Forsake onto history when we can seemingly... I don't know. That could have been bad. Turns out it was real bad. Does this work? So this is the one I need to kill? Kind of wanted to try to save this for a cast out, but... So no matter what, this Teferi's gonna die. But we can leave it to just one creature, I guess. So Teferi's gonna die no matter what. We could have killed the other one, and then the Knight doesn't get pumped, and we get Teferi for one more turn. But I feel like I would rather just use Azcante here, and then like try to resolve the other Teferi. If he'd only attacked the Teferi with one thing, I might have tried to kill it that way. Kind of an issue, isn't it? I assume he's going to field a rune now. I'm apparently down to 6 minutes, too. I guess I need to pay closer attention to things like that. I could have stacked that better, but I don't actually think it matters. Depending on what he does, we may kill the Rivulet and the Memorial. Rip. Gearhulk? That's not a Gearhulk. Am I supposed to disallow Memorial? Probably not. Well, that's not what we need. I don't know if that's true. Because one of them takes a card, and one of those two things take a card, and the other one doesn't. I think that card's too strong. So I don't want to get Gear Hulked, so. So we have like 2 Gear Hulks left in our deck, 1 Teferi and 3 Knights. Is that right? Or am I missing something? Down to 5 minutes, so I don't really feel like looking. Do I want to cast both? I'm pretty concerned about my library count. Maybe I shouldn't be worried about it. I feel like it's more likely that I die to clock and milling, though, than these little boogers. Maybe I don't have as many threats left in my deck as I think. Still think I have 2 Gear Hulks, 3 Knights, and a Teferi, but what do I know? I think actually. Having a Tempt in our graveyard, so. Well, that sucks. Alright, well, we have to draw really well now. Because he's got 4 cards, and I assume they're all counter spells. I have to draw less good. I have to protect that, don't I? Well, I was hoping to cast a fairy this turn. I didn't know how the counterspell would work out. I didn't know if he would have 1 or 2. And I don't want to do it during his upkeep if I'm going to have to cast a Teferi. Like, I was really hoping to play Teferi that turn. Mostly due to the clock on the Teferi, though. I got him not too concerned about that thing, but he knows we have a counterspell that he saw. We have enough time to win. If I don't make any horrendous error. So I have to do this one for 4? Sure. He's definitely not dead. He could just play a history here and it would be a problem. And there's also still the clock. I have 2.5 minutes to find a thing. Just pressing F6 here. I think he's dead now. Assuming I close quick enough. This disallow is good. Because our threats are in those top little bit of cards there. As a counterspell, it could be a problem. If I was keeping a notepad and didn't have or had more than 2 minutes, I would whatever. I would actually keep track of what cards are where on my deck. And I wouldn't let myself what am I trying to say? I would basically stack my deck and know what I was hitting every turn. But I don't have time for that now. That's the card I was looking for. Of course, we knew it was there. So we know we can put a knight on top of our library if we want. I don't have to flash in it as a beat stick. It's better as a counter spell. Like we get a guaranteed win right now. Basically. I would have played one of them when I had 2, but when there was only 1 in my hand, I didn't want to play just the 1. Once I drew the second, I was always playing the first. Once I drew the second, I was always playing the first. But I wanted to keep 1 in my hand no matter what, because we had all the time in the world at this point. The 52 seconds was the only thing that was even remotely an issue when we got to that point. Oh. Oh, to play around an additional rivulet? That's fair. He could have. Well, he had zero. It's 4 cards, but he had 0 cards in his hand. So if he drew a rivulet, we could still torrential Gear Hulk and disallow a rivulet. So he was hell bent. So the Gear Hulk in the hand alone prevented the rivulet from winning. And we knew we had one more counter spell that we could always hit with the Azcanta. So even if we had to take 2 draw steps, there wasn't 2 cards that could win. Well, I guess that's not true. There was Rivulet could have won. Oh, we didn't. Yeah, we had to disallow in our graveyard and the Gear Hulk in the hand. No worries. Like that game was hectic, and it definitely got to a point to where like I don't think I played game 1 well. I think I played game 2 well, and I think game 3 I was playing well up until the point where the clock became an issue and I couldn't think about decisions anymore. I just kind of had to press buttons. I definitely played game 1 really bad. I don't like how I played game 3 either, but, you know, we won the game with 30 seconds left, so I didn't have a lot of time to think about a lot of those decisions. It was just kind of like slamming my head against the keyboard. What have you been into, Chris? You been playing any Magic or anything lately? I noticed I saw some posts about traveling, but I don't think I've saw any posts about Magic. I saw the sweet board games you were selling. I was pretty jealous. Especially the ones that had the like the Kickstarter perks. Came really close to beating some of them. I agree, but I have a simple rule of thumb that anytime that I have a turn 2 search for Azcanta, I will not mulligan. I'll just believe in this card's power that much that I think search for Azcanta will save me from all draws. Now, I would like to point out that search for Azcanta doesn't do that. Like, you just often lose, but like, that's how obsessed I am with this card. Like, I'm absolutely obsessed with this card. It's my favorite card in Magic. And I keep hands that I probably shouldn't keep simply because of it. At least he's the slower build, so if we hit a land here, that's probably pretty decent for us. At least game 1. Brainstorm was my favorite card in Magic before Azcanta. But I just absolutely love Azcanta. It's just such a fun card to play with. And I really like the art, especially the buy box promo. This one's not that, but like, I think it's just gorgeous. Hello, swamp. Wouldn't mind another swamp. That is close enough to another swamp. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I only owned one Legacy deck, and it's Grixis Delver, and obviously, like, Grixis Delver will still be playable, but, like, I don't want to... As little as I play Legacy, I don't want to play a card that's playable. I don't want to play a card that's broken as shit, or a deck that's broken as crap, excuse my language, or I don't want to play it. If I was playing Legacy all the time, I might have a different opinion about that. But like where I only play Legacy like once every 3 months, like I just want to do the most broken thing possible. They significantly hurt my deck, but it's okay because now I get to play Infect again, and I'm going to go out of my way to foil an Infect. I think I only ever stopped playing Infect. I know Infect wasn't good when Grixis Delver was around, but I only ever stopped playing Infect because it turned out one of my tropical islands was fake. I was pretty discouraged that one of my trops was fake. Man. Fine, you can have that one. Yeah, the probe doesn't bother me. Probe was definitely too powerful. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my probes, but like they were definitely too powerful. I have a friend that sideboards out Whirler in this match, and I don't understand why you would ever do that. Sure, the card's not great, but do you ever want to side it out? Eh, I guess I just let that resolve. And then like Gear Hulk contempt this, hopefully. And then get our opponent to concede. Yeah, this match is pretty good. It's why I've been playing this deck, just because the red decks have been so popular in my matchups. Well, I thought the opponent would concede just to the losing to Chandra and to Chain Whirler and having no cards in hand versus Nazcanta Gear Hulk, but it took Teferi to show up and be the hero of this match. So Brad Nelson has a sweet sideboard guide on this deck. For anybody who has Star City Premium, I think it was posted on the 16th maybe? And I pretty much just play with his sideboard guide. I don't even think. I just plug and play this match. So he's got a different sideboard guide based on whether they're playing Beaumont Courier or not. I typically just assume that they're all playing Beaumont Courier these days. But long story short is you always sideboard out my favorite card. It's just like always sideboard out my favorite card. Which makes me very sad. You bring this thing in too. You cut some of the counter spells. If they're not playing Beaumonts, you actually cut some of the fatal pushes and stuff. But like I said, I just at this point always assume that they are. I personally like negates a little bit in this match, but Brad doesn't bring them in, so I'm never going to question Brad. I mean, that's believable. Like, even with Chain Whirler around, I think we 4-1 the last two leagues we played tokens. Nick, when I signed up for my affiliate program with Twitch, they made me sign an agreement that said I won't post any of my videos or any of my streams at any other service for 24 hours. So all of my YouTube videos are 24 hours delayed. I don't know if that goes away when you're partnered or whatever, because like Hoogland posts his immediately. So like maybe that's a perk for being a partner, but in my affiliate agreement it says I can't. I just assume that they're always sideboarding in a bunch of walkers, but I could easily be wrong. Well, they have their good draw. Let's see if we can beat their good draw. Guess I'll save my Essence Scatter. Let's go kill this stupid thing anyway. It's got 2 under it. I'm looking forward to casting a Murderer too. Alright, that's cool. I didn't know about that. I just knew that I wasn't allowed to. Not that I'll ever be a full partner or whatever, because I stream like 2 hours a day and stuff, and don't stream very much at all. But don't have a following or anything. But you never know. We're getting close to the YouTube numbers again, so at least that's something. I think we're about 100 away from being able to get it back on YouTube. He knows we have an Essence Scatter now. I don't know if that changes his plays much. So what do we want to draw here? I don't know if we're going to have 2 turns left, because I assume he's going to resolve something relevant next turn. Feel like I have to kill this one. You could draw like a Glacial Fortress or whatever and tuck whatever he plays. Let this finish it off or whatever. Could just not have a 3-drop too. JK, there's a 3-drop. Also didn't hit our land. Fatal push? Not a fatal push. I don't think we're dead. We're just close. We hit another untapped land next turn. We get a blocker and a... Well, potentially a blocker and another contempt. It's going to be hard to beat a Beaumont from here. Not an untapped land. Do we have any out? Nah, we don't have any out. No outs, that's what we got. So on the play, he brings back into Syncopate and takes out the second cast down. Well, I mean, that's what we would have killed with our contempt. Opponent click. I don't even want to win that way. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, like, even if that happens, I don't think I want to win that way. Like, I don't care enough about treasure chests to want to win because somebody misclicks. So we got a push and a scatter. Buying art. I would kill to buy some of that art. I want the 3 new panorama or panoramic. I don't know. I'm a redneck. Ignore my misspelled. But like the 3 new Tron lands. Like I hate Tron with an absolute passion, but I think that art's beautiful. Guess I'll use the Forsake the Worldly on that. Do you keep them in the room with your bird? I remember. I think you have a bird, right? Still salty 6 hours later. Oh, that sucks. That sucks real bad. Hate to hear that. Wonder if I'm supposed to just kill this at this point. Oh, apparently I was supposed to just kill that, so I took 3 extra damage. He still has 4 cards in hand where he's not been missing lands, and we're about to have no spells. Nick going to the rude area of language. I couldn't save it once he cast the Doomfall, could I? Alright, let's draw some glimmers. Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah. Ooh, that's almost like a glimmer. No Chandra, please. No Chandra, please. I guess the Chandra's not even that bad now. We can Gear Hulk it next turn. Don't want that. I'm probably going to draw a land anyway. I was thinking that I probably didn't need the Fatal Push Revolt because we had to cast out, but that's a good one. Tipping it for mana at least. I kind of want to counterspell that. I'm going to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what card we get before we make a decision. Oh. Meh. I don't really value this Gear Hulk a whole lot. And I don't want them to get mana out of this next turn. Another red opponent down. I think that is 6, 7, 5. Wait, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 11-0 versus red decks on stream? Yeah. It does seem pretty good. Like, we're going to lose to it sooner or later. Sometimes they just get those draws you can't win versus. But I think we're 11-0 on stream versus red decks in general. Yeah, Blue Black Mid is my favorite deck. It's just the deck that I streamed the last time I played. I don't like streaming the same deck 2 days in a row. I've been obsessed with Blue Black Mid Range for a while. Like, I think Blue Black Mid Range is excellent versus all of the red decks and excellent versus the blue white decks and Esper decks as well. So like, it's pretty much exactly where I want to be. And it's got a few matchups that it's weak versus, but like, all of the matchups that it's weak versus are like fringe decks that rarely get played. And I think my favorite thing about the blue-black deck is like when I play this Esper deck, if I get paired versus a blue deck, I draw a whole bunch of spells that are terrible. But when I'm playing, or, you know, vice versa, when I play, you know, like maybe I play versus a red deck and I draw all of my cards that aren't good versus red. But like when you play the blue-black mid-range, you have that same effect, but like Champion of the Wits fixes so much. Champion of the Wits is so good. I think Gift is okay right now. They say it's really good versus red. Any deck that's really good versus red's playable. Yeah, you don't win with blue black mid versus Gift. So like maybe that's a reason to potentially not play Gift or play blue black. But I don't think there's enough Gift out there. I think you'll run into them occasionally, and I just don't think there's a lot. Yes, we did make a lot of money with that Champion of the Wits, even though I was very, very wrong about that card's trajectory. That card's probably the card I was most wrong about, yet still made the most money on. Because we definitely made a killing on that card. Made an absolute killing on that card. Boo. So this is the Flame of the Keld version. Kind of surprises me that a grinder like Phil Ivey would be playing it. Green White Approach. That's something I've not saw. It was about $7 right around when the Pro Tour come out that first year, which is what Sean's talking about. We got out really good on that card. Sean and I dabble in finance. He's a lot better at it than I am. Wow, 3-1 drops. That's going to be a problem. Especially because we need Contempts to beat that, and we don't even have a second black mana. JK, second black mana all day, baby. Alright, now we just need to find the Contempts to go with it. Stop playing spells. I could have counterspelled that one, but I'm more afraid of a Flame of the Keld here. Is it bad that I kind of want to disallow that? I really want to go to 9. This feels horrible. Alright, so we need his hand to be medium and we need a Contempt ASAP. Well, there's the Flame of the Keld. He's got a card in his hand that he didn't play beforehand. Guess it's another 2-drop, like another Flame of the Keld or something? Oh, yeah, it's another 2-drop though. I guess he's supposed to attack the fairy now so that we don't uptick on flame. Oh, our life's like super low. He put us at 5. If he puts us at 5 though and we just draw a Contempt, I don't think he's in a good spot. That's not a Contempt. That's not helpful either. Alright, well, that's game. Is this not game? It's just 4. It's a game if they have any non-land spell. I'm not sure what I'm actually trying to hit here. Because it feels futile no matter what we do. Even if we draw Contempt, we go to 3. So like we're still just dead by whatever's left on the table. That's not a Contempt. So we're just dead. Hey, there's a Contempt, but you're way too late, friendo. Alright. Usual sideboarding. Goodbye, Search for Azcanthus. Hello, friend removal spells. Well, that's because you're a valued customer, Johnson. I don't know how many hazards and stuff they play, so I don't think I want that. I think this is okay here. I really just don't know their deck list. Good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe I'm supposed to leave Night in. Or bring Night in. I'll rephrase. Hey! Got a new subscriber on YouTube. Thank you, Dark Lubs. Also received a new offer on something. What a wonderful day. Somebody's offered me 29 bucks for a... Huh. Wow. No. This guy can suck it. The one reason I don't want to bring in Knight in a match like this is I believe that they're going to leave every one of their burn spells in. The mana from the Vraskas isn't enough because their Flame of Keld's getting ready to go off, and every single one of their threats deals an additional 2 damage once that happens. If it wasn't for the Flame of Keld, we could. No, they wanted 2 lightly played massacres for $29. Which I have at 42 retail, so we're going to hard pass on that. We'd probably give it to them for like 35, maybe. I don't mind a haggle. But 29's way too cheap on something that I've got listed for 43. Sean made a new name, I love it. The foil copies. Ode foil copies. Ode foil copies of cards have absurd prices for no reason. Especially non-reprinted ones. $21.5 might be a little too high, but I figure they're really like $18 or $19 cards. Alright, well, it looks like we're taking 3. I guess if he's doing that, he's throwing another burn spell at us too? Yeah, he's throwing another burn spell at us too. So we'll get rid of that and take our other 3. I thought I had an island in play because I'm a goofball. Yeah, Nemesis foils aren't the most common thing. I'm actually going to cycle that one. We already have 6 lands. This isn't the type of match where I need 25 lands. Well, if that is not in bad condition, Nick, you probably just found you a nice little $30 bill or something. If it's in good condition, maybe as high as 40. I don't know those numbers to be accurate. Like, I've not sold one of those in a long time. I think Gunner had his listed at 40, but I'm not sure. You're getting to the point now where I feel like I'm just about to have to counterspell one of these things. About 30. Alright. So I was pretty far off. I think we'll keep that just in case. I don't know, it's easy to find out. Let's go financing over here on TCG Player since we're all talking about it. Obulate. Oh, that's not how you spell it. Okay, 35 on TCG. Okay. Well, I'll quit searching for it then. And just go back to our game. If he throws a burn spell this time, I will disallow it. He did not throw a burn spell that time. I guess we'll kill that. I don't know, it's worth 2 life. It can stay in play. I want to gain my 2 life. Hey, there's our favorite. Our favoritist thing. I think I'm just going to play the land now. Even though I just earlier said we don't need lands anymore. Also, don't need cards anymore. I don't think I'm changing anything from the play to the draw in this match either. I think we're just running it back. I've often liked Scarab Gods in this match just because they close the game so efficiently, but I don't think I want it. Could play it over this thing. He's the point casting to Flame of the Keld. We're probably in bad shape anyway. It's pretty expensive, but yeah, I guess a good card. Alright, this hand's pretty good. We'll have to hit some lands, but our opponent's already on a mulligan, so we can't be too upset. Alright, if we just hit land, it's probably hard to lose now. I think it's less good on the draw than the play. On the draw, I should always have something to do on turn 2. Or on the play, I might not have as much to do. Alright, deck, you can do it. Land ho! Alright, we're going to take 2 here. Untap land, please. Yeah, it's a black source too. That's so good for us. We have 3 Vraska's Contempts. We're like 1 land away from winning. I've just casually pressed F6. Get me, brah. Just get me. I guess in theory, we're not as close to winning as I thought. Because he could have like Karizev plus Flame of the Keld here, and we would be sad. Like this, for example, makes us sad because I think we have to counterspell it. I think it's just too strong of a card in general. And if he has like land Chandra, we're not happy. Or if he just doesn't have anything, then I guess we don't care about anything. Because he missed a land drop that turn too. Yeah, we're getting everything we need out of these bras. Alright, you can do it, deck. 1 time! That's not 1 time. Alright, well, this is what we call potential problems. The second Hazoret. So that's a pretty big problem. And that's game. Well, that's kind of a tilt. Like, this game was over if we just hit a 4th land at any point. You can like literally take one of our non-land cards at random away for a land and we win. But sometimes you just lose. Maybe we could have held an extra counterspell or something. I mean, you're going to lose to it sometime. Hey, Lars, what's up, man? Maybe we could have just like not counterspelled something we did and kept another counterspell for Hazret somewhere, but I don't think you can play around missing a land for like 36 turns. I know that's an exaggeration, but yeah, so we keep the same. Hmm. Oh, we have best card. Best card in standard. Boom. Wow, they missed their second land. Uh, cool. We at least didn't miss our third land. He went to Canadian Nationals, so like he's probably tired or something. Maybe he's not home yet. He might have stayed with some friends or something. This unfortunately does not fix our white mana in our deck, but I still think we just have to keep any land here. Wonder if it's wrong to kill their fetid pools. It probably is. I want it in my graveyard though. Sweet. we made a ripe decision. So is this the Esper deck from Nationals? I did not pay attention to that list very much. I think it has no Gear Hulks and 2 Scarab Gods in. I think that's right. Wonder if I'm supposed to counterspell this where he missed land drops. Generally, I don't like putting these in the graveyard because they have so much value later and we already had a Contempt in our hand, but I probably should have thought about that more instead of just being on autoplay. I feel like I should have thought about that more. He's apparently got a hard decision. Or they died. Who knows? They have planes. I guess I want that too. Can I just want all my lands? I don't know if this is worth it, but it's before they have 5 mana, and I don't think there's much on 4 I care about. Couldn't counterspell that anyway, so... Don't really want to put that in my graveyard, but we're like not close to casting it, so... I mean, we're close, but... it looks like our opponent's is, ours is not. We're still playing the Brad Nelson, Maddington-based list. I guess I will not put that one in a graveyard. If you're sitting across from an unknown in paper and they're in blue-black and play a search on 2, do you auto-assume that they're not mid-range? I don't auto-assume that. Well, they flipped their Azcanta a long time before we did. Hey, Duretti, long time, my friend. I think it's less likely for them to be, but I don't auto-assume it because a lot of people play a search in their blue-black mid. Up until the Grand Prix, for example, I had one search in the main deck of my blue-black mid because I didn't want to dedicate the sideboard card for it. Not because I thought the card was worth it, really, because I think Bloodfast is a better main deck card, but I really wanted that sideboard slot, and I couldn't think of another reasonable way to do it. I kind of just want to jam this. I feel like I just want him to spend his mana, even if he's obviously probably just going to contempt it. I don't think we're going to be able to protect this at any reasonable point. I don't know what kind of counter spells he has. Like, I've already saw a Champion of Wit, so like, and a Scarab God, so I would think blue-black mid. But then we saw the Esper card as well, so like, I'm probably just wrong. Oh, this was a misclick, by the way. I'm 100% supposed to tuck the cast out and like make him search for the cast out. That was just poor play. But pretty much anytime you expect your Teferi to die, it's better to get like some kind of like obscure value from it. And I don't know if our gear hooks are even going to matter. Like, I have nothing to buy back with them. We're just going to get dunked by this Azcanta. Can't believe you called me big. You called me fat. I actually kind of like the list from Nationals. Like, I've always called Gearhulk a liability. Well, not a liability. I actually had this conversation with somebody the other day. I don't think they're a liability. I just don't think they're good. That's a Doomfall. Well, we're going to get crushed. We need to try like another Teferi. How many disallows do they have? I'm assuming just 4. Hey, look, it's another Doomfall. Now, well, oh really? 0. 0 is not something I would have guessed. So their deck's closer to blue-black mid-range than Esper Control. Still have 8 cards in their hand. They've dealt with 4 of our 7 threats as well. Five of our 7 threats. We have no rivulets, and I think it's going to be hard to hang on that long, but it's looking like that's our most reasonable chance to win. But they have an Azcanta and a Teferi, so it's hard for me to imagine we're going to be able to do that. Yeah, I agree, Murph. I think it's no more tears, but I don't want to look up their deck list, so I guess we'll play a little bit longer and see what we see. Maybe their hand's like really bad. Oh, that doesn't seem bad at all. I quoted Ozzy Osbourne to them. That's the second time I've quoted Ozzy Osbourne today. Right on time, Field of Runes. Alright, I actually don't want to look at the rest of their deck. I will give up. I am a coward. Proud of myself for quoting Ozzy Osbourne twice in a week. I think I want this. I think I want this. I definitely want this. I probably want these. I probably want this. I might want this. I might want this. I don't know if they have glint siphoners or not. Based on what I saw, I would assume yes, but actually didn't see an Esper hub, and it's probably hard for them to play an Esper hub, so they probably don't have glints in. Yeah, I don't think they have glints. In my mind, they don't have glints. You say he does have Siphoner? It's hard for me to buy on Siphoner. Huh. Chat says he has Siphoner. I don't know his deck list. I'm going to look it up then. The beauty of Moto. I'm going to assume it's just the Nationals list, and that's what I'm going to go look up. The Nationals list does have Siphoner. Wow. Okay. Well then. We probably need some of these. Yeah, 2's enough. Now this hand is trash. Alright, whatever. I'll keep this one. It's a little better. Don't have double black, so we're going to dump that. But his Siphoner was sideboard. Don't have any double black spells that don't cost 4 mana, but I should have probably still played the Chapel on that turn. Should probably cycle to Forsake too, but... His Isolated Chapel's prettier than theirs. That's undamn excusable. What's the chances he takes Gearhulk and not Glimmer? Not high enough for me not to cast a Glimmer. The Doomfalls are nice. We knew he was going to take... We didn't have anything to really get value of the Gearhulk, so I don't know. That's not an Essence Scatter at all. They're down to 3 cards. Should have put the Forsake on top of that just in case we don't shuffle. Ooh, oh, good gosh. Bad times. I know about the negate too. I guess he can have that. Alright. I feel like this game might be pretty close to over, but maybe we'll draw something sweet. Well, we drew something pretty sweet, just hopefully it's not too late. Did I play this game bad? Maybe I'm not supposed to cast a Glimmer when I did? I assume they have a counter spell or they wouldn't play it. Unless they just have 2 Teferis. Oh. Well, that's some cards. Guess I have to get rid of that one. Yeah, this game is far from winnable, it appears. Maybe we had Walking Ballista in our sideboard, but we'd only have it in our sideboard over the night, and we've already won a game of Knights, so like maybe the Knights have earned their place. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. And we're dead. Go out on our own terms. We have 2 mana. Alright, well, hopefully we can get this pity chest, because these last 2 matches, well, the last match wasn't competitive. I think we were a pretty big favorite in the 3rd match. But I could not close. Maybe I have to relook at the match and see if there was a better way to play the old counter spells and things that could have escaped with the win. I'm supposed to log off in 8 minutes. I don't think I'm going to make it. Got dumplings to cook. They're going to be good too. Anybody, I know a lot of you are local that watch me, but if any of you want to come over and have some dumplings and watch the Oceanic League of Legends with me, hop on it, because that's my plan for after stream. I think it's Oceanic tonight. Let me double check. Pretty sure it's Oceanic matches tonight. I don't think any of my friends actually care about League of Legends. Yes, Oceanic, Japan, and Southeast Asia. Yeah. I was right. So smart. I'm such a smart boy. They are going to be chicken dumplings, yes. I'm not from Europe, so Dota 2 sucks. That is my opinion. 3 a.m. dumplings isn't that bad if you consider I didn't get out of bed until 6:30 p.m. So I've only been in bed or awake like 8.5 hours, so I'm literally just cooking myself dinner. And I do have kind of the night hours. Been in queue 3 minutes. We better win this match. Better get that $2 chest. Dough cooked in delicious broth. I will play first. This hand's fine. I just heard something thump in my restroom. I believe the mouse is back. We'll go ahead and play this one because Syncopate on an Earthshaker Kenner or Akari Zev's good enough. And at worst case scenario, I can cycle the Forsake the Worldly. Could keep it to kill this, but finding my mana for both this and this is just my priorities at this point. There's an argument that I could have played the farmlands on this turn as well, considering he didn't play a 2-drop. He's unlikely to have anything that I won't be able to syncopate next turn, but I don't want him to like draw a Scrap Heap Scrounger or something like that and then be able to play it. Actually think that card's good enough to counterspell. Because he would have had to have that and a 2-drop, unless he was just specifically playing around Syncopate. Which, this is Magic Online. I don't think they do that often. Alright, cool, he didn't. We feel like geniuses now with our big brain. Actually, it feels like that was just a pretty relatively easy call, but I want to make it more than it's not. I want everybody to think that I'm so smart, that I'm such a smart boy. I will spend all my mana on you, even though I only have to spend one, because we're sending a message. Alright, now we actually have to make a decision, because that Beaumont Courier is getting, like, kind of frightful at this point. But a Chandra or a Hazard could still just win the game, so I don't think that I can spend it. Alright, I'm fine with this. I'm just going to make him blow it. And then start holding up counter spells. I actually did not know that they did a podcast. Wow. I might have to check it out sometime. That's news to me. So even if they have Chandra here, we can tuck it. It's not the end of the world. But the fact that they have 5 cards is kind of brutal. Oh, they conceded? Cool. Well, we didn't have to think very hard then. So red-black aggro on the draw, as usual. We get rid of our Search for Azcanthas, and Brad has you discarding 2 counter spells. And bringing in the full 4 cast, or up to 3 cast downs, and then the extra removal spell, and the extra thing that can kill Heart of Kieran / Scrap Heap Scrounger / Beaumont, etc. On the draw, he doesn't bring in the second cast, or sorry, on the play, he doesn't bring in the second cast down, he leaves the Syncopate. Tried my hardest to catch that mouse yesterday to free it out into the wild. I've not read the deck list because it seemed kind of offensive to me, but kind of too spiky to even read the deck list. I kind of want to keep this hand, but like it's probably not good enough. Alright, this hand's much better, I think. So we both keep 6, and he is... I think that's good enough to keep even though we don't have the land. I'm pretty confident that between these 2 cards we might get to stall enough to get the land as long as they don't have Kari Zev. And if they have Karizev, we need a card like this to kill it anyway. Alright, so no Karizev. That feels great. I could be pronouncing Karizev wrong. So I'll just say the Monkey Maker. The maker of monkey. Oh wow. Didn't really expect that. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. He was 10-1 at one point or something too, which was like pretty sick. No. Screw you, Duress. Screw you, Duress. Sure, Duress isn't that bad for us unless he has Chandra. Because if it's just like has rid of Phoenixes or whatever, whichever one of these two he doesn't get rid of will do the job. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Fair enough. Darby played blue-white gifts, now that I think about it. Well, that's unfortunate. We're probably going to have to cast a contempt now. Just kind of hoping to save it. I'll just go ahead and play this one. I'm going to feel like an idiot if we draw a Gear Hulk, but if we don't draw a Gear Hulk, we're going to feel like we're such smart boys. Screw you, Dick. Screw you. It's actually not that bad, but... Well, that's quite rude. Quite rude, Nick. Young Nicholas. Doomfall. Alright, so this time we're not casting the Glimmer because it's a pretty easy. He has to take the Gear Hulk. Anakarizev, that was brutal, but it is okay. For he is out of gas and we have a Glimmer. Well, we don't want that or that. Guess we want him to draw his card first. Just because maybe he'll draw his swamp or whatever. Well, I guess that doesn't do anything, but... I don't know why I said that. That's just silly. Alright, he hit a burn spell, I guess? Or is he cycling something? Yeah. Fair enough. No, come on. How do you just hit a threat every turn? Stop it, opponent. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it better to cycle or just kill? I'm gonna go with just kill. It's not really ramping them. This is the only card they get extra. Oh, Lightning Strike, I guess, too, but. Fair enough, can't kill, but can prevent 3 damage. Alright, well that's helpful. Hopefully our opponent will draw a land or two. That's not a land or two. That's the best spell in his deck, and we're dead. Felt like we were a year ahead this game, and then we just didn't hit anything for several turns while he hit gas on every turn. But maybe I made misplays. Maybe we allowed him to do that somehow. Only drawing 1 Gearhulk or 1 Teferi the entire game is not great, but it's whatever. We might be pulling the 2-0 into 2-3, which is never a fun feel. That sucks, man. Alright, so we'll play first, and this hand's not keepable. Alright, this hand's keepable, but not good. Just takes a discard spell or two, and this hand can't really win. You get to play sealed deck at your local store, Mr. Johnson. How good does that feel? About the dumbest thing he's ever did. I'll rephrase. That was mean of me. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I will keep you, hand. We do not want you. I'm thinking about playing a little modern on the stream, but I'm probably never going to a modern PTQ. Alright, I guess we'll kill this. We can't use it on the other thing anyway, and we don't have a counter spell, so... Well, like I said, 1 or 2 discard spells just beats this hand. Seeing if we get a coming to play tap land. Nope, we've already bottomed 1 Teferi, and then we just drew 2 more. Could be worse. Maybe we'll draw land, and have a chance. Or like land into cast out and have a chance. Well, okay, at least that card doesn't bother us at all. To tuck or not to tuck? Kinda just want to tuck. Tucking's only really bad if they have a second Chain Whirler. They'd have probably played it last turn over to Duress if they had it. They throw a burn spell at it, they could have killed it with an attack and a burn spell either way. And he's already missed a land drop, so like if there's not a land on the top 2 cards of his library. It's really hard to get the modern decks to you, Nick. Since you live in BFE. You could just have a Pia or something, but not too concerned about the Pia because the Torrential Gearhulk's kind of good versus it. Well, yeah, the Torrential Gearhulk is good versus it. Oh, well that's kind of nice. Alright, so we have Gearhulk left open, and now we have a Glimmer and a Teferi. So our opponent got screwed this game. I think it's going to be very hard for them to make a comeback from here. I don't want to say impossible, but they're not playing any spell this turn. We know they're drawing a Chain Whirler on the next turn, because I would rather them have a Chain Whirler. We can stop them from having to Chain Whirler, but like I actively want them to draw it as opposed to some of the draws in their deck. Oh, they conceded. I didn't mean to show my hand. That seems like I'm bragging, but it was literally me just trying to click OK. I didn't mean to be on them or whatever, so I apologize. I have basically everything in Modern but Horizon Canopy. There might be like 1 or 2 cards for a random deck. Like I may not own enough Jaces for like your particular build, or like I might not, like I only have 3 Celestial Colonnades because that's all I play in the Jeskai deck I played. But like for the most part, I have Modern. I don't have Dredge either, come to think of it. I should really get Dredge. Actually, I pretty much have Dredge, but a lot of them are foils, and I don't include foils. Murph, if you're coming to my house to pick them up and staying somewhere locally, then I guess pretty much anybody can borrow them. I don't use my Modern cards, I just collect them because I'm weird. Anyway, so we got a pity chest tonight. We beat 2 red-black decks. We beat a blue-white control deck. We lost to the Esper deck that looked like it was from Nationals. I didn't say I was coming to your house. Oh, and I'm definitely not mailing them. And I just said I don't have Horizon Canopies, so that means I can't build humans. And then we lost to a mono-red Flame of the Kell deck in a game that I thought we were a massive favorite, but we just didn't draw 4th land. It happens. Can't be that worried about it. It's part of the game. If it was chess, it wouldn't be nearly as popular as it is. But had a pretty good stream tonight. Had a nice turnout. Had a lot of people talking. It was a fun time. We're just now 5 days away from completing the 65-day challenge, which is sweet. Or the 365. And now we gotta find somebody to host. So it's between Sparrows and it's between Buttons. Buttons has got an hour of devastation in his hand, so let's figure out what Sparrows is playing. Alright, cool. Sparrows is playing blue-black mid-range. So I guess we'll give Sparrow the love, and then we're going to go watch our Pacific Rift Rivals matches. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. It won't be anything special. It'll just be a normal day. It'll be a normal Sunday. It'd be even nice to let me pay postage. Man, I pay hundreds of dollars in postage a month. That word is just naughty to me. But anyway, go hang out with Sparrow. It's League of Legends time. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and continuing to support. And there'll be a video going up on YouTube in a few minutes of me playing MTG Arena, don't bother to watch it. Nobody wants to watch me draft MTG Arena. Especially because that was the night that there was a mouse in my room and I had to like turn the stream off. Kind of early to go mouse hunting. Anyway, take care everybody. See ya.